Today I will start planting grapes from the little garden behind the house. The land must be clear and not water. The grapes grow well. Each vine digs a deep hole, 30 to 40 centimeters. It's easy to have space to grow. I'm laying a layer of compost at the bottom of the hole to provide initial nutrition for the plant. When putting the seedlings down, I let the roots spread out so that the plant can adapt to the new soil. I covered the ground lightly so as not to hurt the roots, young of the tree. Press the soil to fix the tree. Avoid tilting when watering or encountering wind. After planting, I watered for the first time so that the soil and roots link well together. It's okay to look at the goods after planting. Care will be easier later. Let the tree climb later. Grapes need staging to grow well. When the wind begins to roll out, the tree is used to the soil. I am now carefully monitoring the direction of the climb. Just tie it up so the tree doesn't break, but still keep the straightforward direction. After fixing finish, I watered it again so that the tree would not be shocked. In the early days the tree was weak, so I monitor the humidity very carefully. Don't leave the soil to dry. I try to squeeze the soil if the soil is still slightly moist. No need for more water. If the soil starts to dry, it is best to water early in the morning. I cut the weak shoots so that the tree can focus on growing stronger branches. I adjusted the vines in the direction I wanted. Make it easy to create later. Gently move the soil around the base so that the soil is not compressed. The roots are easier to breathe. After a few days, I added a little more so that the plants have more nutrition to grow. I adjusted the vines in the direction I wanted. Make it easy to create later. Gently move the soil around the base so that the soil is not compressed. The roots are easier to breathe. After a few days, I added a little more so that the plants have more nutrition to grow. After fertilizing, I water it so that the nutrients melt and seep into the ground. I just light up the tree. Don't push too hard because the body is still soft. I also have to check the bottom, because pests often appear in the first place. Dry leaves under the root. I left early to keep the root open and limit the fungus. I put a thin layer around the base to keep the soil moist, but it's still close to the tree. Force me to check again. Too tight, the body is squeezed, and too loose, the tree falls. This stage, I go in rows like this to find out early, weak or lack of water. This is how I look at the vineyard in the morning. It's always very pleasant. Water-based compost we dilute first. This way the plants will be safer. I put the solution around the roots, not murder, so that the plant absorbs more evenly. Just go around. I know how healthy the garden is. Look back a little before entering the house. It's also my habit. When you're done, just leave the garden alone and keep working. Every day. The garden is so green that I feel very comfortable. Caring in the early stages, then the vine will be healthy and grow very quickly. When the leaves start to bloom so strongly, is that the tree is in a period of rapid growth. I cut down the extra shoots. Let the plant focus on nourishing the main body for health. My body is straight up, to make it easier to frame later. When the leaves start to bloom so strongly, is that the tree is in a period of rapid growth. I cut down the extra shoots. Let the plant focus on nourishing the main body for health. The tree is climbing in the right direction. I just need to keep the form. Each of these pieces is self-made, so you can see it very well. Familiar. My body is straight up, to make it easier to frame later. The garden is clean and healthy, I am sure. If you take care of it properly, it also gives very beautiful results. So we're done growing grapes in our garden. Slow but memorable. There is such a small garden at home. It's a very simple pleasure. From tillage to green vines like that. I find it very rewarding. Grapes need a lot of sun, so we always let the foliage not cover each other too much. When the leaves are open, the plant is less sick and the light is more uniform. I check the underside frequently to detect worms early. At this stage, the tree is healthy. I'm ready for the upper stage. Before making a cast, I prepare the pile and wire in advance for each row. I deposit in intervals, and then stretch the rope. I will mark it first so that it will not be out of line. The pile must be firmly closed. It can withstand the weight of the tree. I looked in line to adjust the pile evenly. I'm going to stretch this string to create a frame for the grapes to climb. I fixed each point so that the wires do not overlap as the tree grows. The rope must stretch just enough to hold the form, but not too tight to break the pile. This is strong enough for the tree to climb and grow the upper canopy. From here I will direct the tree to climb the platform to grow the canopy. Wider. Tied lightly to the rope so that the tree holds the climbing direction without breaking. When the tree is climbing in the right direction, I just need to keep the form. When it's up, I let the branch spread sideways to later produce more fruit. Each branch to the right distance. Let the light in. Moderate bamboo canopy will help the soil retain moisture, but the tree is still sunny enough. There are too many flowers each. I will cut down later so that the fruit will grow. When it starts to bud like that, is that the plant is about to enter its flowering phase. At this stage, we avoid strong impacts so as not to drop the buds. I cut a little early, so that the plants can focus on better fruits. From here the tree will flower and bear fruit. I just need to take care and watch. Vines begin to bloom very small and light. I have to look closely to see. At this stage, I leave the tree open to better naturally pollinate flowers. There are too many flowers each. I will cut down later so that the fruit will grow. After pollination, the flower will fall, falling to form the left. This is when the fruit begins to form. It looks small but will grow quickly. If it is too thick, I cut it early, so that the other is bigger and more beautiful. I adjusted the distance to the left so that when I grow up, I don't get squeezed. I check the leaves often to detect pests early, if any. I put enough leaves so that the fruit does not get sunburned, but still open. If it is too thick, I cut it early, so that the other is bigger and more beautiful. I spray the room lightly with organic solution to limit fungal diseases when the left is growing. The remaining bunches are ripe a little more. It will be sweeter. Do a little bit of that every day, but it's fun to watch the tree grow. The left is in degrees. I'm about to enter the harvest phase. Just a small garden, but doing it yourself from beginning to end makes sense. The rest I followed one more. We can pick it up into days. I left enough cover so that the left is not scorching but still ventilated. The remaining bunches are ripe a little more. It will be sweeter. When the left starts to change color slightly, I know that the tree is in the process of maturing. Look at the light through the left. I can also guess the left is moving. At this point, I've mostly kept the tree steady and wait for the fruit to ripen more evenly. The left is in degrees. I'm about to enter the harvest phase. Before cutting, I checked maturity by the tension and evenness of the front left. I'm ready to pull clean and the basket is ready below. To cut it off, put it right down. I put it lightly in the basket so that the outer shell does not scratch. When cutting yourself close to the beam stem to keep the fruit beautiful and not stutter the fruit. I picked each beam to reach the previous level. No need to cut the whole row at the same time if the fruit is unripe. After it's done, sitting under such truss is very pleasant and quiet. Look at the vines covered like that. It is worth taking care of. The wind is so light that the garden is always ventilated and pleasant. The remaining bunches are ripe a little more. It will be sweeter. After it's done, sitting under such truss is very pleasant and quiet. Look at the vines covered like that. It is worth taking care of. I'm ready to pull clean and the basket is ready below. To cut it off, put it right down. Before cutting, I check the ripeness by the tension and evenness of the left. When cutting yourself close to the beam stem to keep the fruit beautiful and not stutter the fruit. I put it lightly in the basket so that the outer shell does not scratch. I picked each beam to reach the previous level. No need to cut the whole row at the same time if the fruit is unripe. After I picked it, I checked again. The kind of bunches that aren't really beautiful. Which fruit is scratched or bad? I spend to make the finished bean look cleaner and more beautiful. I washed very lightly to clean the outer dust without affecting the crust. Left 2. Dry a little naturally and then stack the tray for the raisins. More beautiful. Put your hands together like that. It will be much nicer to store or carry. Put your hands together like that. It will be much nicer to store or carry. I am ready. Box and pre-paper so liner. That when packed it will be fast and not stamping grapes. The bunches are even and beautiful. I will choose to box first. Lightly place each beam to hold the form and avoid scratching the shell. I adjusted for the beams not to overlap to keep nice when opening the box. It's easier to store and transport. Close the hinge slightly so as not to sway the internal beam. After I finished cleaning, let's do it neatly next time. That's enough for the whole family to enjoy. I try a little to feel the natural sweetness of his grapes. Sweet and cool, self-grown clean grapes. A gardening day ends so gently. It's fun enough.